Yo, what's up, you guys? It's me, Smarty, aka Sklonic, and we're back again with another video. This video, as you can see from the title, is going to be me starting my 2025 temperature blanket. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Here's a little bit behind my thought process of making sure that I am engaged, because this is a year-long project. So number one, I wanted to make sure that I utilize my current inventory. So before I buy or outsource new yarn, I wanted to use up a lot of my yarn that I have. Right, so that was a goal of mine for 2025. It's just to make sure that I use up everything that I have before I purchase new yarn. But that being said, I know Joann's has been closing a bunch of stores. So if they close a few stores near me, it's no guarantee that I won't be buying some more yarn. If I do purchase some more yarn, I will keep in mind this project because it is a year-long project. Something else that I wanted to make sure that the project that I make or I start this blanket, I want to make sure that I actually like the product that I'm doing. So that's why a lot of these colors and this color palette that I'm choosing is something that I will actually want for myself. So I like myself a lot of retros, a lot of 70s, a lot of warmer patterns, or a lot of palettes, I should say, a lot of warmer tones. So that being said, that is how I went into my color selection process. Also, I had to keep in mind that weather in Florida isn't like weather in like a colder state like New York City or Chicago. So we don't really get colder temperatures as often as these northern states. That being said, I have to go in choosing my colors a little bit differently than someone else may do in the northern state. So I just have to make a few modifications here and there. And also I had to figure out or do a lot of research on the type of sweater. Do I want a granny square blanket, single crochet, a double crochet? Do I want a texture blanket? So those are just a few things that I had to do when navigating or coming up with this process. Alright, so first things first, I went through my yarn selection and I basically just had to go through, see which colors I actually like and which ones I don't. And then I broke them up into code, neutrals, and then from there we'll break it down and we'll go a little bit more in depth. I'll show you. Alright, for this project I have opted into these color selections. So this is for when it's the 30s, so 30s to 40s. Here we have 50s to 60s. It's kind of like a teal. When it is starting to warm up, it's a little bit more neutral. We have the 70s to 80s. 90s to 100. It's not a ruby red, it's more like a clay. And then anything 100 plus, we'll go ahead and use this one. It's kind of like a burgundy. Alright, now I'm just going to break it down by category. So since I know Florida will typically be in the 30s, so I'm going to do a category for 30s to 40s. I'm going to do 50s to 60s, and then we'll do 100 plus. Okay, so that'll be my color palette, and then each one I'll just go through and I'll break down the colors.
So my deep blue, shouldn't be too many days with deep blue. We'll do this turk, or this teal, maybe it's teal, for the 50s, 70s. There's this one, mustard, let's do ruby, and then this one,
Next, I just went online. I went to this site. I typically like them. They give, it's what I use for like a day-to-day weather, but I like them more so because they have the month. They have the highs as well as the lows for each day of the month thus far. So as you can see, and then they also have like future weather predictions. I don't really care about that, but I just like that it has it and it's set to my current location as well. So this is what I'll be using, and we'll go ahead and get started. To go ahead and get started, I think we'll be using, since all of it's going to be acrylic yarn, I think I'll go ahead and use a 5mm hook. It's a great beginner project, just because for this project I'll only be using a half double crochet and slip stitch. I feel like it gives the slip stitch, and I'm starting with the color for my respective first day of the year. So I'm doing with the highs. For the highs, it's going to be for the month of January 1st, it was a 73 on the first for it. So I'm gonna start first. I'm gonna start with a chain of 300. So 1, 2. Alright, so now that I've chained, I actually didn't do 300, I did 250. So I did a starter chain, but instead of changing color right now, since it's just a chain, I actually want to start the pattern with that same color for day one. So the chain and my first batch going back will be day one for the temperature blanket. That being said, I'm going to start with the pattern. I'm going to make sure that all of my V's are facing up. Now that they're facing up, I'm going to do the pattern. The pattern is going to be a half double crochet, and then the next one will be a slip stitch, but you'll be going into that chain, so I would recommend not doing it so tight on the slip stitch. And that will be the pattern all the way up down. So a half double crochet into a slip stitch, slip, a half double crochet into a slip stitch, and then you just want to make sure that each one is alternating, alternate, so that way the pattern will continue all the way down. So I'll do that all the way down and then we'll proceed. So I finished my day one, and as you can see, this is the length of the blanket. My next 3 days are going to be in the 60s, so I'll switch to my 60s, my 50s to 60s color, which is going to be this teal / navy blue. So first things first, I'm just going to make a slip stitch or slip knot. And then where I cut, I'm just going to start there. And since I ended on a slip stitch, I'm going to start on a half double and do the alternating pattern that way as well. So I'll just grab this, grab my hook, I'll change the tension, and then add it in. I'll do a chain one. And then to sure that this yellow is tucked in, this mustard, I'm just gonna hold it in the back so it'll get. Okay, before I go to bed, I did want to show you guys my progress for day 1. I ended up taking a picture on my phone, and then I put a screen capture of this, but I'm on day 13 currently, and that's another color change. But I have to be up early tomorrow for work, so I'm going to pause right here for today. It is currently January 26th, so I'm just like halfway for the month, or getting caught up, I should say, and I'll show you guys the progress of where I am currently right now. But I think it's turning out pretty good. One thing I didn't, I kind of knew, but I didn't know, is how quickly the yarn would go, or dissipate, I should say. So most of the yarn is leaving fairly quickly. So those first initial set of colors, like, they might go quicker than I anticipated. If that happens, I am still trying not to buy yarn, so I'll probably sub out the yarn that I currently don't have anymore, and we'll like sub it out for another color that still works within the color palette, because I still want to make this kind of like a scrap yarn project, so that way I'm getting rid of yarn that's currently in my stash. That's the main goal. If all else fails, I will go to the store and I'll just buy whatever yarn was missing if I can't find any other ones to fit in the palette. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Alright, I just wanted to provide you guys with a quick update. So I'm currently on January 21st, and this temperature blanket process, I am realizing, although that this is going to be a scrap yarn project, like I said before, so I didn't anticipate how quickly I would be running out of yarn. I just used the turquoise color because I didn't have any plans for it, and it's been sitting for like a year and a half, so I just wanted to use it up. I didn't think it would be done this quickly, and I didn't realize Florida and my area would be so cold. So that being said, I initially had turquoise teal as 50 to 60 degrees, and the deep blue as 50 to 60 degrees. Since I have a lot more deep blue, I think I'm gonna make an alternate decision and have the deep blue be my alternate color for the 50s and 60s, and 30s to 40s I'll have that as navy blue, since I do have some navy blue, and I think that will work a lot better. I probably should have did the deep blue initially, and then the 30s as the turquoise, but I mean, hey, you live and learn, and you call it a day. So that being said, since this is a scrap yarn project, I'm going to start jotting down alternate colors along the way, so that way when I run out of mustard, or if I run out of this clay color, I'll have another color already in mind that is somewhat similar and will still flow with the current color palette. But I think it's turning out pretty cool. It reminds me of like the Aztec and Mayans, because this mustard is coming out like a gold, so it seems very royal in a sense. So I don't know, we should be excited. I do have a few more days to catch up on, so it should be good. But January is almost complete, and then we'll start into February. I also did want to say that I will just be using this pattern that I'm currently using for the month of January, and then I will try to implement a new pattern for the month of February, so that way it's not as boring as just doing the same pattern consistently for 365 days. That way I can also learn new techniques, or test out different patterns, or stitches that I may have wanted to do in the past, but I'll just incorporate them for that entire month. So that way I'm learning, I'm growing, and also it will give this blanket some texture and some personality. So yeah, I'll keep you guys informed. I'll keep you guys updated. All right. So as you can see, it's actually super long. That's just it in half. But so far the temperature blanket is going really great. It's a lot of, for Florida, it's been a lot of 60s. So that's what you have here, this 50s to 60s, and then a lot of 70 days. I did have to, like I stated previously, make an alternate decision on the color because the turquoise actually ran out. And then if you look here, this mustard color is actually running out also. I love how it's coming out though. It looks like a gold when it's paired up next to this blue. But so yeah, the teal ended up turning into this really deep blue, color. And then for the 40s to 50s, 30s to 40s, I'm sorry, I ended up having to use this navy blue color. But overall, it's pretty good. I'm all caught up to date. I do still have to weave in my ends. But yeah, so far so good. January is complete, and we'll see what February has in store. Alright, you guys, there you have it. That's my temperature blanket so far for 2025. January is complete, so that's a good sign. And we're off to February. Only way is up, and I'm trying to get there. If you haven't already, please be sure to watch my introductory video, which is the what I crocheted in 2024. There you'll see what this brand is, how I'm planning to move for the year 2025, what this channel is all about, and more about my brand behind it, Sklonic. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thank you. Signing on. Shit.